Yeah, life in the UK has been amazing, good. I've enjoyed everything and I don't regret anything. I don't regret coming to the UK because UK has been good to me. I won't even lie.
Wow, you're the first person saying this. A lot of people are running.
Really?
Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Once more, Happy New Year. I'm sure you're tired of hearing Happy New Year from me. Yes, the year is still new. And as usual, I have somebody here, a very known familiar face. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, by the end of this video, you would have subscribed to her channel. So this is a nursing channel. Nursing migration is the agenda for the year. And if you are looking at options, you don't want UK, you don't want US, you don't want Ireland. She is here to tell us the way to work in Australia. She's done so many moves. She began from Nigeria, went to UK, and now the final destination is going to be Australia. So, once again, I am the lead consultant for USRN Pathway Consult. If you're a general nurse, midwife, psychiatry nurse, and wants to work in USA and don't know how to start the whole paperwork, find me at www.usrnpathwayconsult.com. We help nurses to write NCLEX and migrate to USA. Okay, finally, please welcome to my channel and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Dale Goodness. I am a registered nurse currently practicing here in the UK. I'm originally from Nigeria, and as she said, I'm making my way right to Australia at the moment. So we'll be talking about all of that in today's video. So do well to sit put. Don't forget to like this video as well, and let's get straight into it.
Okay, nice. I'm glad you're here. And just your nursing journey. So you were a nurse in Nigeria before you moved over to UK?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. And what informed that decision to decide to go to UK, and why did you choose UK?
Growing up, I've always wanted to practice abroad. I've never seen myself practicing nursing in my country. Basically, we all know why we are from Africa, so I don't want to go deep into that. But I just wanted something better for myself, my family, experience new life, and basically, I'm someone that loves adventure. So I knew I didn't want to practice in my country, so I decided to move to the UK to practice nursing.
Okay, so how many years did you work in Nigeria as a nurse before? And what type of nurse are you? RN, what are you?
So I'm RN BSN. So I have my bachelor's degree and I have my diploma. I practiced in Nigeria for just a year, and that year was just like our National Youth Service Corps. I'm not sure if you know about that, but it's not like practice, but it's like a service year
Know
you have
about
to.
it.
Yeah, after your internship. So after
Ghana has
internship,
the
you have
same
to do
thing
that one
too.
year. So that was the only 1 year I had to do in Nigeria before leaving. So I didn't like really get a job and all that stress. No, I didn't do all that. But after a year, then I left to the UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been in the UK for how many years now?
3 years now. Yeah, I came through an agency from Nigeria to the UK.
No.
We are from Africa, so I don't want to go deep into that. But I just wanted something better for myself, my family, experience new life, and basically, I'm someone that loves adventure. So I knew I didn't want to practice in my country, so I decided to move to the UK to practice nursing.
Okay, so how many years did you work in Nigeria as a nurse before? And what type of nurse are you? RN, what are you?
So I'm RN BSN. So I have my bachelor's degree and I have my diploma. I practiced in Nigeria for just a year, and that year was just like our National Youth Service Corps. I'm not sure if you know about that, but it's not like practice, but it's like a service year
Know
you have
about
to.
it.
Yeah, after your internship. So after
Ghana has
internship,
the
you have
same
to do
thing
that one
too.
year. So that was the only 1 year I had to do in Nigeria before leaving. So I didn't like really get a job and all that stress. No, I didn't do all that. But after a year, then I left to the UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been in the UK for how many years now?
3 years now.
Okay. And what, you came through an agency or you came by yourself?
Yeah, I came through an agency from Nigeria to the UK.
Okay. So are you, since the 3 years, have you been practicing at one place? Did you move from department, different units?
This is like my third unit. I've worked in two different settings. So the when I came from Nigeria to UK, I started working in a nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
like a care home setting. Yeah, I worked there for 1 year. Then I moved over to our NHS, and I worked in the cardiac unit for like 2 years. And currently, I'm in anesthetics, so that's where I'm currently at now.
Wow. Congrats. That's a lot of experience.
I know, right? Thank you.
So what happened? Why the change of mind? Why are we going to Australia?
Oh my God. I think it's basically the same reason why I left Nigeria. You just want a better life and new experience all the time. And I'm someone that I get bored of something easily. So if I'm bored of somewhere, it's okay to make a change as long as I can. So, and also a better life. I've made some research and I think I would love my stay in Australia more than I like it here. Don't get me wrong, the UK is good. I've enjoyed my stay here. I love it here, but there are just some things that are better. So it's not a crime as a human being to love something better. That doesn't mean where you are right now is bad, but as humans we just want to progress, just like going for a higher role. They ask you, why are you going for a higher role? It's just like, it's not like I don't like it here, but we are humans and we want something better. So yeah, that's why I'm moving to Australia.
What is the process for a nurse to move to Australia? I know so many people want to go to Australia. The weather is nice. It's not too different from Africa, depending on where you are. So, what is the process? What's the first thing one should be doing to be able to achieve this goal?
So if you want to move over to Australia, the first thing you have to do is to get your assessment by AFRA. So the AFRA is just like our NMC UK or NMC Nigeria. That's the Nursing Council Board. You have to check your eligibility first if you're eligible. So firstly, most important thing is Australia needs you to have your license. So you need a license from your home country or wherever you've been. And if they have two branches of nursing, they have their enrolled nurse and they have their registered nurses. So they have RN and EN. So if you want to register as an RN, you need a bachelor's of science in nursing. Okay. While if you have a diploma, you can go for their enrolled nursing. So it's two different things. So it's not like the UK where it's just one RN they have. So if you have in Australia they have two types of nursing, just like in US it's LPN, yeah, but it's enrolled nurses in Australia. So if you don't have a BS, you cannot register as an RN. If you have a diploma, you can register for the enrolled nursing. So you need 2 years, minimum of 2 years experience in your choosing field, wherever field you've been. You need 2 years experience, and also you need to meet some clinical hours, which is like I think 4,500 hours or so. But within 2 years, if you work full time, you should be able to get that. And then you need to submit all the documents they need, your license from every country. So for me, I was registered in Nigeria and the UK, so I had to send for both ways. And also, I think that's the two basic requirements they need. Your English language. They also need you to prove that you can speak in English, and most of them they accept OET, they accept IELTS. I don't know if they accept PTE, but these two they are basically the two English language they accept. Yeah, those are the basic requirements. The rest things are just things you submit, your police clearance and all that. But as long as you have these three major things: English language, your degree, and your license, you can now register with Australia. And then when you do your assessment, they will tell you, because they have different pathways. They have the OBA, the OBA, they have the one you have to, after assessment, they'll tell you need to do OSCE and you need to do NCLEX for Australia. So you have to know which one you are going for. The OSCE is done in Australia. The NCLEX, you can write it anywhere that has NCLEX center. But what most people have been doing that is easier is to go through the New Zealand pathway. That's exactly what I have done as well, because with New Zealand, you don't have to write any exam whatsoever. You just have to register, send all your documents. They require the same things, the same IELTS, the same 2 years experience, the same license. They require all of that, the same years of experience. They require all of that as well. And they have an agreement that if you are registered in Australia, you can work in New Zealand. The same thing is if you're registered with New Zealand, you can work in Australia. So what most people do is to register first with New Zealand. It's cheaper, it is easier, no exam. You can do it basically online. So that's what most people do. Then just transfer their license to Australia. It's just the same thing as if you have your NCLEX from one state, you can just transfer. So it's just the same thing. They have this mutual agreement. So when you submit all your documents, make the payments, you have to like send all your documents. I had to call my school to send my document transcript. You know how just the same way, but since I went through since I went through New Zealand, I had to go through their CGFNS process. So with them, their CGFNS process is different from the US CGFNS. So they have two CGFNS. One is US and one is for New Zealand. So you have to be sure that you're using the New Zealand one. And after sending your document to CGFNS will now send a report to say that yes, your all your degree, all your employment history, everything is correct, and they verified it, and it's the same standard with Australia Nursing Council. So it has to be the same standard. So if CGFNS evaluates your documents and say no, it's below a bachelor's degree in New Zealand, they will not accept it. So if it meets the standard, then you will now wait for an email from New Zealand to say, oh, we just received your documents from CGFNS. You are not able to apply with us. Click this link and apply. So you just click the link, apply, make all your payments, and as long as you send all your documents to CGFNS, that's literally the only documents you need to send. You don't need to send differently now to Nursing Council, and there's nothing you need to do with Nursing Council. All you have to do is to make the payment, and that's it. So literally, after making your payment, you have your license sent to you, and then I just transferred the license to Australia. So it was really that simple. The hardest part is getting your documents to CGFNS. You know how it is to get documents from Africa. That's the most stressful part. So all in all, if you are really determined to start your process, it will take you roughly about 3 to 4 months. But personally for me, because I wasn't in a rush to move, I started my process since last year, but I was not last year, we're in the new year now. Since 2020, yeah, September 2020. But I wasn't in a rush because I was quite okay. I didn't want to move immediately and all that. But if you really want to move within 4 months at most, you should finish all your process with both New Zealand and Australia, because process of moving license from New Zealand to Australia just took me 1 week to transfer, so it was fine. The most important thing is with the CGFNS. So that's literally the whole process. I have like detailed video on everything on my channel, so if you are interested, you can check my channel out for all the details. But this is roughly how to register with either New Zealand or Australia. If you don't want to go through the New Zealand route, just straight to NCLEX, and you still have to do OSCE, which is the practical exam. So personally for me, I think that's a longer route. Either it's just like too long and stressful as well. So it's easier if you go through the New Zealand route.
Wow. That's good. That's a good way to go about it. So you mentioned AFRA. Can you spell that, and what does it stand for? AFRA?
So it's APHRA, I think. Okay. I'm not sure again, but either APHRA is Australia. I've forgotten the exact.
That's okay. I'll skip that part. So that is the Australia body. If you want to start the process, that's what you have to go through.
Yeah, AFRA.
Okay. But if you want to go through the New Zealand route, you don't need to register with AFRA.
No, you first go through CGFNS New Zealand. That's the first step.
Okay. And then after you do it, right after you're done, I'm sure they'll give you an email or report that you are cleared. And then you transfer it over to Australia.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need to be physically present in New Zealand or work in New Zealand to be a New Zealand RN.
No, you don't. As long as you meet all their requirements, you don't.
So as it stands today, you are an RN in New Zealand as well?
Yes.
And you can use that license in Australia?
Yes.
Wow, that is very good. So in submitting the documents, does your nursing council and your school back home send it via a courier service, or do you upload it via email?
So for Nigeria, where I come from, they have to send it via courier service. But here in the UK has agreements with Australia because they're almost same practice, so they can accept their license from via email. So they did it via email, but my school has to send it via courier service. So if you're outside UK, you need to send it via courier service. So there is a form. After you make your payments, they will send you all the form to download and fill. So you have to download the form and just sign that you give your school authority to send your license, just like concerts. So when you send the form to your school. Your school has to fill the form out and then attach all your license, your everything they need to attach, letter of good standing, and just send it via post to CGFNS New Zealand.
Okay. Do you think that your location helped to make this faster, or is it the same for somebody doing this from Africa directly through New Zealand to Australia?
The truth is it's the same. The only thing that helps me is the fact that I have written English tests before. Okay, so that's the only thing that helped save my time, is because I already have done it before. So because I have written English tests before, they had to waive that for me. They were like, oh, if you've written your English test before and you are currently practicing in an English speaking country, you don't have to write the English test. That's the only thing. Aside that, every other thing is the same. You still need 2 years experience. So whether you are in Africa or anywhere you are, you still need that. So the only difference I would say that the UK helped me is the fact that, first of all, I don't have to write the English language test because I have done it before, and they had to waive that for me because I have written the English language test before, and I'm currently practicing in an English language and in an English speaking country. So they had to waive that for me. And also, my practice here in the UK is similar to New Zealand and Australia. So there is a course you have to do if you have not studied in New Zealand. 6 to 12 weeks adaptation course that you have to do. But because I practice in the UK, they had to waive that for me. So if you're coming from Africa, they will assess, it's still the same process. They'll do the assessment and all that, and they'll now send you a letter that you can now register with these schools. So they have schools for the program. You now have to register for the program to come over to New Zealand. So with that letter, you can get your visa, go over to New Zealand and do the course. The course is like 6 to 12 weeks. And after that course, you can now register with their council. So it's basically the whole process, but the same registration process and everything.
Okay. So I would say that it's easier for somebody who is already in the UK to move over there because they waive the English test, they waive the adaptation. But for somebody in Africa, they will still have to be physically present to do the adaptation course.
Yes. So if you are in the UK, not only the UK, if you're in the UK, Ireland, if you are in Australia, if you are in US, Canada, and I think Singapore as well, these 6 countries, they'll waive that course for you because they think our practice is similar to New Zealand. So yes, that's the truth.
Okay. So you are doing the adaptation course in New Zealand, not in Australia?
The adaptation course will be done in New Zealand because you are registering through them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have anything to do with Australia. You're just going to use your license to move over there and work. Okay. And I think that's the fastest route because nobody wants to write ASCII, nobody wants to write NCLEX. It's
no. And even with the New Zealand, I think it's just after the adaptation course, you don't have to do exam. It's just like them training you, just like a crash course. I don't think, I'm not 100% sure, but as far as I've known, it's just to do the course and that's it. You start working. And because the school that will give you admission, with that you can use to get your visa, and you're coming into New Zealand. After that, you don't really have to leave New Zealand before you start practice because immediately that you just switch your visa and all that. So, but I think the tuition is a little bit expensive. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's quite expensive. These schools, they have all their prices. I think like 4,000 or 6,000 New Zealand dollar. I think about that range. So if you are able, some people can afford it. So if you can afford it, I think that's another route to follow. Then immediately you get a license. You don't have to necessarily work in New Zealand. You can just transfer it to Australia if you like Australia, because some people prefer New Zealand to Australia. So it's all about your own choice as well. So yeah, if you can afford it, definitely I would say go for it.
So the cost of the application process, do you remember how much you paid for CGFNS? Did you pay to register on the New Zealand website? Anything like that?
Yeah, everything you have to pay. I paid for my CGFNS. I think the video I made is very detailed. I inserted everything, but I think roughly I didn't spend up to £2,000. The whole process, both New Zealand and Australia, I didn't spend up to 2,000. I think about 1,000 plus, because I had to pay money for my school to send my documents. I had to pay money for police clearance, because you have to do Australian police clearance check and all that. But I don't think it wasn't up to 2,000.
Okay. So after that, you have the license, you transfer it over. What's next? Do you have a job personally waiting for you, or do you have to go to an agency to find a job in Australia?
So you can either go directly to the hospital, like online, on Indeed, on Seek, to apply for jobs directly with the hospital. Or if you know the hospital you want to work on, just go on their website and tap on their career. You see job opening for registered nurses. Or you can use agencies. There are a lot of agencies like HCA, Healthcare Australia. There are Alliance, Medax, a lot of them. I also have a video on that on my channel as well. Then you can apply through agency. The agencies are free. So if you don't like someone scouting if you don't have the time to be scouting for hospitals, you can use agencies free. There's no harm in using them as well. So if you use agency, they will sort hospital for you and just basically give you all the hospitals that are available. Then you pick the one you want, depending on what location, what city you want, then they can now set interviews for you, or you go directly yourself and search for the hospitals and just apply. So it's the same thing. There's no way to do it. It depends on what you want.
Okay. So you yourself, I believe you have a job offer or hospital waiting for you.
Yes, I've gotten a job already.
Okay, but you haven't moved to Australia yet.
No, not yet.
Have you ever been to Australia?
No.
Do you have family and friends in Australia?
I don't have any family there. I don't know anyone there.
Okay. Yeah, it's an adventure. People always.
Yeah, when I came to the UK as well, I didn't know anyone, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Good. So let's zoom down to content creation. I know you love to travel a lot, and I know that you love to have fun. And then YouTube, how did you start the whole content creation process?
I started YouTube in January 2021.
Okay.
And that was solely because I'm someone who is very open. I like sharing my opinions on my Instagram and all that. And a lot of people like that about me. And they keep asking me questions, the same questions, especially coming to the UK. And I realized that I keep answering the same thing to different people. And I was quite exhausted. And I was like, okay, I think it's just time to start my channel. I know a lot of people started channel for these same reasons, but I always like shied away from YouTube because
really
it's not really easy.
It's not easy.
Especially if you have a job.
Easy, but it's not easy at all.
No, it's not easy at all. But when I started, because I saw that a lot of people were gaining a lot from my YouTube, that was what kept me going. And yeah, I think content creation is something good because it's not like practically nothing, but it just keeps you busy as well.
Yes. So you talk about nursing. So if you haven't subscribed to her channel name is right on the screen, Nurse Dio. Did I get the name right? Yes. So please go to her channel. I will link the channel name, everything in the description box. Click on this title of the video and you'll see everything. Subscribe to her channel, share her video, share mine as well. So life in general, how has it been for you? If you've had a good stay in UK, everything is going well. Any advice for an overseas nurse who wants to make a move but is afraid, is not sure where to start from? Anything you have to tell them?
To be fair, life in the UK has been amazing, good. I've enjoyed everything and I don't regret anything. I don't regret coming to the UK because UK has been good to me. I won't even lie.
Wow, you're the first person saying this. A lot of people are
really.
I
will not lie you. I know I want better, but UK has been good to me. I can't even compare my life before coming here to now. The difference is too much. So I would never say the UK is not good. Of course, it has its own downsides, but UK is one of the most amazing places I've ever been. So yeah. My advice, if you want to move abroad, whether it's UK, Canada, Australia, US, New Zealand, anywhere, is just do it. You will never find 100% information about a place you want to go. So it's left for you to go and experience it. At the end of the day, when you go experience it, if you don't like it, you can always leave. Nobody's going to kill you, or nobody's going to tie yourself down. Like some people will be like, don't go to this place, so too much tax. Like when I was coming to UK, hey, don't go to UK, oh, don't go to UK, too much tax, blah 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 blah. And yes, I know people are entitled to their own opinion, and don't get those people wrong. Some of them have experienced it and they know what they are telling you, but everybody's journey in life is different. So yes, people are okay to tell you what they feel, but you have the authority to accept or reject. So it's left for you to accept any advice or reject any advice. So personally for me, if you want to move to any country, go for it, as long as you can afford it. If you can't afford it, either you save up, get a better job, or like go to a cheaper country before you can move, because most people cannot come to Australia from Africa because of the expenses and because they don't have experience as well. But the UK, you don't need experience to come to UK. You don't even need a degree to work as a nurse. So people use this first, and while they're here getting the experience, they're getting their degree as well. I know a lot of people that are doing it right now. So they're already in school, because here in UK, you can get your degree in 1 year after your BSc. After your RN, you can get your degree in 1 year. So that's what people do. So you get your degree and also get your experience in the bag, and then you just move over. So if you feel like the UK is not where you want to be, you want to go to Canada or any other place, because there are NCLEX centers here in UK, in London, you can write it and move to anywhere. The good thing about the NCLEX is when you pass the NCLEX, you can use it to register in Canada, or you can just, the the locations are just endless. So if you really want to move any country you can see yourself moving that is better than where you are right now, I would say go for it. You will never regret it, and if you regret it, just go back to your country. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's it. It's not, you're not tied to remain there if it's not working.
And I feel like you will regret not going to that country more, because personally people say, oh, if you go to Australia, they will tell you, like, people will tell you bad things about Australia. Of course, every country has good and bad. So personally, I know that I'm open to anything I see in Australia, but so far I know it will be better. But if I go and it's not better, I still have my UK license. I'll come back.
Yeah, you will.
They'll still accept me. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong in going for something better. And life is all about risk taking. If you don't take risks, you're not living. So go take your risk. If you want to write NCLEX, if you want to go to US, anywhere you want to go at all, as long as it's better than where you are now, just go for it. That's my own advice to anyone.
Yes, that's a very good advice. Thank you. So if I may ask, why so people are not practicing in New Zealand? Everybody's end goal is to get to Australia if they do this process.
Most people, but just a few people stay in New Zealand. But majority of people that I have met move this way to Australia.
Yes, I know.
But it's just a very few percentage will stay in New Zealand, because New Zealand cities are very nice. Most people think that it's nicer than Australia. It's less populated as well compared to Australia. So some people like that kind of lifestyle. So they just stay in New Zealand. But majority goes to Australia.
Wow. I believe it's because maybe Australia pays better and maybe the conditions there are better. So
yeah, they pay better than New Zealand as much as I've seen. Yeah. And also I think their work-life balance in New Zealand is a little bit better. The only thing I think that New Zealand is better than Australia from my research is the fact that New Zealand does not really have all those wildlife as compared to Australia. That's one thing I think New Zealand is better. But I think other things, either they are the same or Australia is better. But as for the pay, yeah, it's a known fact that Australia pay better than New Zealand.
okay. So my last question before I let you go. So do you travel for fun, or are you a travel blogger? Are you paid to travel? Are you travel? Tell me a little bit about that. Do you have like a consult whereby you do travel and tour? I see you always organize trips and it's fun to I've been doing my research.
So initially I started traveling for fun. I wouldn't lie.
Okay.
I've been to 13 countries, and when I started traveling, I started traveling for fun. Because I love not just like fun, like I just want to travel. I love learning new things, and I feel the easiest way to learn is to be there. So I like learning new things, seeing new people. I love meeting new people. So I used to travel to learn, to have the experience myself. And then the only time I started organizing trips and tours for people is last year. I just started last year actually. And I realized a lot of people coming to me for travel advice, like not just to relocate, but vacation wise. Like if I go to somewhere and I take a picture and post it, people like, where is this? Please help me. How can I get there? I'm planning my birthday. I'm planning my anniversary. Please, how can I do this and all that? So when I realized a lot of people were having interest in it, I also decided to add that to my YouTube as well. So a lot of people were watching and all that. And then I started getting gigs from brands. Some brands want me to like tag them to my post that they're the ones funding my life or funding my travel adventure and all that. Sometimes they'll be the ones to book my trips for me, and then I just tag them, just like influencing for them. So initially I started it as fun, but right now I'm like getting money from it. I'm making my small change from it as well. So yeah, that's it.
Wow. I'm proud of you. If anybody is watching, you are interested in traveling or interested in working in UK or New Zealand or Australia, where to head to, go find her. She's active on Instagram. She would respond to your questions. She has the same username on her YouTube channel. Subscribe to her channel. Share this video. Share mine. If you have any migration dream, start now. Whether you start or not, the year is going to pass and you're going to look back and regret you never did. Most of us took the steps, and this is where we are today. So you can also do it. It's doable. That English test, you can write it. That NCLEX, you can write it. So find out, there are so many options now. You have several YouTubers from different countries bringing them to you. Weigh your options and go for what works for your personal goal and your family. Thank you very much, and I will see you hopefully on your channel one of these days.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.